Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Annie Z with What If Ash Started with Mew Part 5. Last time we saw Ash defeat the Johto League and now we're going to hoenn, so let's get started. We see Ash at home until he hears a knock on the door. It was Professor Oak and Gary. Ash was surprised to see Gary all packed up. Oak then tells him that he has booked some tickets for both of them to go to hoenn. Ash accepts the tickets. Gary then tells Ash that this time he will prepare for his legendaries and will defeat him. Ash had really fixed his attitude thanks to his mum curbing his overconfidence. So Ash says good luck as he goes inside and gets changed. He then contacts Mewtwo to send on Latias and Latias to his party, and he will switch out the rest of the Pokemon because he's going on a new journey. Mewtwo then sends Latios and Latias from Ash's private island that belonged to Mewtwo, while Ash sends the Pokemon there that he didn't need. The Pokemon Ash has on his party is Mew, Latias and Latios. Ash then meets up with Gary as both of them board the ship and talk. Gary then leaves for his adventure once he gets to hoenn. Ash decides to go to the woods towards Professor Birch's laboratory. When he sees something falling out of the sky, it was a meteor. When it landed, out came a Pokemon. Ash scanned it and saw it was Deoxys. Ash sent out Mew to battle it. Ash spammed Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse to weaken it, and then catches it. Ash then goes to Little Root Town, and then heads towards Birch's laboratory to get the hoenn Pokedex upgrade. After getting that, Ash heads towards Petalburg Town. When Ash gets to Petalburg Town, he goes to the gym where he meets a boy called Max, who tells him that his sister is on a journey and that he's a huge fan of Ash. Max tries to lie to Ash to get him to release his Pokemon so that he can see him, but Ash doesn't fall for it because he's seen through lies when people try to get his autograph by pretending to be someone they are not. After that, Norman comes in and Ash challenges him. Ash, having 3 Pokemon ready, is accepted by Norman. Ash sees Norman start off with Vigoroth, and Ash starts off with Latias and has it use Psychic, one-shotting Vigoroth. After that, Norman sends out Slakoth and Ash switches to Mew and then finishes it off with the Psychic once again. Finally, Ash's Latios comes out against Norman's Slacking, which is beaten by a single Psychic once again. Ash then gets the gym badge and continues towards Rustboro City. Ash challenges Roxanne's gym and beats it using Latias' Psychic against Roxanne's Geodude and Nosepass, getting the gym badge. Ash then moves on to Dewford City where he is challenged by Broly, not from Dragon Ball Super but the gym leader, as Ash once again one-shots Broly's Machop with Psychic and Broly Hariyama with Psychic, which is getting him the next gym badge. Ash then heads on to Slateport City where he debates whether to head to the next gym or checking the Sky Pillar where Rayquaza is rumored to live. Ash decides to head towards Sky Pillar. When he gets there, he uses Latios to fly on top where he sees a shiny black Rayquaza. Ash challenges it. Ash struggles for the first time, seeing Rayquaza takes out his Deoxys, Latios and Latias, and Ash had to send out his heavily injured Mew, but his Mew pulls through using a Blizzard which throws Rayquaza. Ash then throws a Pokeball, but not just any Pokeball, a Master Ball that he got for winning the Johto League, and Ash catches it. Mew then hugs Ash as Ash returned the hug as the two continue on to Morval City where Ash challenges Watson. Latias faces Voltorb, who gets defeated by Latios' Dragon Breath. Ash then sends out Latias, who easily dispatches a Magneton and Magnemite with a Mystic Fire. Ash then heads towards Lava City, where Ash challenges Flannery. Ash easily dispatches of a team with Mew spamming Surf, beating Torkoal and Slugma. Ash then heads towards the Crossgate Ringer. Like in canon, Ash won, but instead of using Swallow, Ash used Rayquaza, which surprised everyone. Not that it was just a Rayquaza, which was surprising itself, but it was a shiny black Rayquaza. Everybody has heard of Ash's exploits from Johto and Kanto, but to see this up close really amazed them. Ash then heads towards Fort Tree City and challenges Venona. Ash decides to use Rayquaza to show who the strongest flying type really was of hoenn, of all regions actually, because Rayquaza is probably the most powerful this flying type because it's a legendary and it can mega evolve and it's a flying type. Venona then sends out Itaria, who gets one-shotted by a Dragon Pulse from Rayquaza. Pelipper is then beaten by Rayquaza, which also one-shots it with another Dragon Pulse. Ash then heads to Misstep City. On the way there, he gets a blue egg that he found, which hatches into Manaphy, who befriends Mew and joins Ash's team. Like Celebi and Deoxys, it's not a battling Pokemon. It only battles if Ash is really in need, but it's mainly there to play with Mew or Celebi or any of the other Pokemon. The boat ride towards the next Gym Leader City is interrupted by a battle of Groudon and Kyogre, which were summoned by some peasants known as Team Magma and Team Aqua. Ash sends out his Rayquaza and has it Mega Evolve using Dragon Ascent, knocking out Groudon. After that, Ash caught it. Ash then battles Kyogre with Rayquaza, capturing it. Ash then sent Manaphy and Deoxys back to New Island, which is Ash's private island that was under guard by Mewtwo. Ash then made it to Mossdeep City, where he challenges Tate and Lisa, who sends out Lunatic and Solrock. Ash decides to send out the Eon duo Latios and Latias, who easily outperform the gym leaders' Pokemon in teamwork since they've been battling together since they were children. Ash then got his 7th gym badge. Ash then takes on Quan. Ash decides to battle with Kyogre because they want to show who the best of the water types was, while Quan sends out Milotic while being shocked that Ash had Kyogre. Ash uses Ice Beam to dispatch a Milotic quickly. The same happened to Love Disc. Celio and Seaking is also beaten by Kyogre. Ash then gets the final gym badge. Ash then heads towards the Pokemon League. Ash then arrives to the tournament where he meets his rivals Gary and AJ. He then sees that they had another rival, Tyson, who was accompanied by the finalist of the Pokemon contest, May, and the Pewter City gym leader, Brock. He also noticed that Max had joined them on the journey. Ash, prepare to be beaten. You think you're unbeatable, but I will prove that you're wrong, Gary says. Very well, Gary, we shall see, Ash says, talking to his best friend and rival since they were kids. The tournament starts off with Ash vs Gilbert in the preliminaries. Ash sends out Mew against Hitmonlee and uses Psychic to end it with a single blast, shocking everyone. Ash then enters a double battle where Ash uses Kyogre, which shocks the whole of Hoenn, and Mew to easily beat Tropius and Swallow with a Ice Beam. Ash then is going to battle AJ, who is claiming how he's going to beat Ash no matter what. AJ starts off with Pikachu, which Ash sends out his Groudon and uses Earthquake, knocking it out. AJ goes for a type advantage and sends out Cordant, but Ash uses Solar Beam to KO it, and since Groudon's ability Desolate Land is active, he didn't need to charge up the Solar Beam before. Ash then sends out Swallow, but Ash uses Ancient Power to knock it out. AJ, I thought you were gonna beat me. 3 battles, one where we first met at your fake gym, and the rest were at Johto and Kanto leagues, and you still haven't even improved. You want to know why? It's because you don't take things seriously. You don't use your Charizard, which had high potential, but you abandon him for new Pokemon. Tell me why, Ash says. How dare you? I'll show you that my new Pokemon are just as powerful. Torkoal, use Flamethrower, AJ says, as Groudon wasn't even affected by it. Respond with Precipice Blades, Ash says, knocking it out. Glalie is then sent out as Ash uses Fire Blast to beat it. It's all up to you, Sceptile. Beat him, Leaf Blade, AJ says. Intercept with Fire Blast. Ash responds as Groudon knocks it out, making Ash the winner. Ash then goes on to face Tyson. Ash sends out Latios, while Tyson sends out his Metagross. I heard how you beat Gary easily, and I saw how you beat AJ easily. You must really be strong. Well, I'm gonna beat you and prove to you I'm the strongest by beating the legendary master, Tyson says. Latios spam Mystic Fire while taking on Zen Headbutts from Metagross, which gets him the win, knocking out the Metagross. Tyson then sends out Hariyama, who gets taken out by Psychic. After that, Ash faces Dolphin, who gets taken out by Icy Wind, which freezes it, and then Ash follows that up by a Hyper Beam. Tyson's final Pokemon is Meowth, who lands a Fury Strike because Latios needed to recharge. Ash then has Latios use Luster Purge, which knocks it out. Ash then faces Katie, who sends out Venomoth, and Ash sends out Latias. Ash then heads to the finals to face on Gary Oak. So Ash, we're here once again, Gary says. Yeah, and it will play out as usual. I will win while you will lose, Ash says. Oh really, Ash? Let's see, Gary says. Gary starts off with Aerodactyl and Ash starts out with Kyogre, using Origin Pulse, knocking it out. Gary then sends out Cradley, while Ash switches to Groudon and uses Fire Blast before Gary can switch out, knocking out Cradley. Come on Ashy boy, you should let me switch out on that one, Gary says. As if, Gary, I'm in it to win it, Ash says. Gary then sends out Amado, while Ash switches towards Latias and uses Surf to end it. It was half time. When they came back, Ash sent out his Latias because it was his turn to send out his Pokemon first, while Gary sent out his Umbreon. Ash uses Ice Beam, which freezes it and then uses Dragon Pulse, followed up by a Zen Headbutt, which knocks out Umbreon. Gary sends out his Blastoise and Mega Evolves it, and Ash sends out Mew. Ash uses Thunderbolt on it, but since Gary's Blastoise was Mega Evolved, it managed to tank it, but it was in the red health. Gary then uses Bite, which hurts Mew a little bit, but then Ash uses Thunder, which knocks out Blastoise clean. Gary then sends out his Salamence and Ash switches towards his strongest Pokemon, Rayquaza, which shocks everyone. Well, would you look at it, this guys, Ash has the Legends of Hoenn, all of them, the commentator says. Dragon Ascent, Ash says, as Rayquaza Mega Evolve, shocking everyone, as that one attack injured Salamence to the red zone, and the fact that they saw a Mega Legendary. Draco Meteor, Ash says, finishing it off because the Salamence was unable to move due to his injuries, making Ash the winner of the league. Ash then got the trophies and went home to celebrate. But guys, that's all. Peace.